Hosting Thanksgiving, hosting only 5 days of Christmas.
5 days of Christmas. I don't actually want them here that long. Like, I wouldn't mind hosting, but I don't want 5 days of Christmas.
Oh, look at that. Somebody got. 6 o'clock.
So good.
Okay, I got a clicker, and this is gonna be a little bit of visual challenge, so you guys can probably see better than me, but.
I got
All right, start recording.
We'll call the meeting back in. Didn't really help me any, so.
Yeah, we'll
Ronnie, you
go
gotta,
to-
tell her you want more mailings. You wanted more mailings.
Or something or other. Anything other than
Social media.
social media. We'll go on to 6.1. This is the Truth and Taxation. Make me sit in the meeting.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you want a
Ronnie,
different
here.
chair, Ronnie?
Yeah,
I'll
take
go
that.
on here.
There's a,
He said he
the
didn't
blue
wanna-
chair
I didn't
too.
want to be on TV. Oh.
Yeah, you and me both. Okay, good, it works. I don't know where to stand, I'm sorry, I'm in everybody's way no matter, if I'm back there, I can't see
You're
it, so.
fine.
I'll get off camera too, because who wants to see this?
Do you? Yep.
So, again, it's visually challenging, but hopefully you guys can see. So here's our Truth and Taxation meeting. It's obviously December 16th, 2024. And there we go. This is our board members. So as of today, this is you guys and me and Marcus as our business manager. Bum, bum, bum. And so this is just the law. And I've shared this every year because we're supposed to share this every year. So it's just between November 24th and the end of December, you have to have a scheduled Truth and Taxation meeting. It has to start at 6 o'clock or later. So, and these are just the things that you have to show. And so all the slides will show the information that it's saying you have to show. Who sets the school levy? So this is always interesting, right? Like, who sets it? Well, the district tax levy are either, so it's set by the state by a formula. Okay, so once they tell us this is the new formula, then okay, this is what, depending on your district and your aid and your, I almost said referendum, not your referendum, your, I'm just losing it. Equalization, there you go. Equalization factors are different based on your property values. And so each district is different, but the dollar is a dollar set by the state. And then they just go back to the district and say, well, how much is your property worth? Okay, you have to pay more or you pay less in your levy. The other thing's operating capital, career and tech ed. So we have some career and tech ed here at the school, of course, and that gets levied also through the state because it's an allotment that they allow. And so some of that, it's not a big dollar amount, but it's something. And then obviously if you guys approve something, if you have a voter approved levy. So if you have a referendum on the books, we don't. But we do have building bonds. Obviously, you guys know it's new buildings, so that affects yours as well. And that's why you get to vote on it. Do you want to pass that and add on to the building or not? So, okay, this is the levy changes for this year. So you can see last year was 4,235,000-ish and more. This year it's a little higher than that. So the difference in our levy was 394,000. The percentage change, that's 9.3% increase in the levy from last year. Last year, you know that the levy though went down 3.31%. So over a 2-year time period, it's 6.01, so about 3%. And if you think about the state of our economy and the 3% actually is not that bad. Again, the biggest impact for our district, as I looked at like, okay, what was the number one factor? It was property values, the increase in property value. And so that's about 7% of the increase is just the value, your property values went up. Which again, the school doesn't decide what your house is worth. That's the county, right? The state sets what you're going to be getting, the county assesses houses, and then we tell you how much taxes you're going to pay. And it's like, okay, this is just information. It's not us really doing a lot to you. Okay, it's already kind of preset, but this is important. This is a number. So when you look at your tax statement, okay, what happened at the school? Again, some of it's from the bond of voting for a building, right? That is something you agree. This is the increase in the formula. So general education formula, this comes in Ehlers, MRA puts this graph out just to give you a little perspective. So this first bullet says, had the allowance increased by the rate of inflation each year since 2003? The 2005 allowance per pupil would be $86.45. So $1,300 less than what inflation should be showing us. This is kind of what my presentation to you about a month or whatever ago about the LOR. LOR was set at 724. It's never changed since 2014. Well, it's not $2014 anymore. So what can you buy with those dollars is a lot less than what you can today, right? So, yeah, it's just so that the increase over that time period is an 18.7% increase, and it just isn't there. So our buying power, if you will, for goods and services is just not the same as it was in 2003. So the next slide, this is just showing you, here's public school is the blue, and this is county and cities. We were just talking about in our budget committee meeting is if a city is short dollars, it says, okay, your taxes went up 2%, 5%, 8%, depending what their need is to function as a city. County does the same thing. I was just saying that Becker County increased their taxes by 7% because they want better competitive wages. I don't get to say, I don't want to pay it. I have to pay it. They said it. Cities said it. We pay it. You don't get to vote on that unless you want to vote out your county commissioners, I guess. School boards or schools, we have to go to the voters anytime there's an increase. So because of that, you can see that school districts don't win very often. This presidential election and the referendums and capital project levies that all went across the state, outstate Minnesota passed at under right around a 30% passage rate. The metro is in the upper 50s, almost 60% passage rate. Why? They're property rich. We're property poorer, I will say it that way, than they are. So here's what a typical non-school local government, they're at 91 and we're at 39. So it's just, again, it is what it is. We're just trying to make it work, right? And this one, I found this today. I was doing a bunch of digging around and trying to get different ways to show public something else to think about, or maybe give them a better perspective or understanding of it with a visual. I'm a visual guy. So this is the state of Minnesota. We're this lovely spot right here in the light color right here, right next to, you see the FA for Fargo. Morehead's obviously the next one, and we're the next one to them. So the question is, how does our district compare in referendum market value per the resident pupil unit? Okay, and you can see our district per pupil unit, we're at 483,000. The state average or median is 600,000. So if you look at this map, if you're in a light color, your property values aren't so much. Okay, this isn't farmland, because farmland here is good, it's healthy right now. This is, so if you're a farmer, okay, it's your house and 1 acre, or it's your city lot, or it's your property that you own. That's what this referendum market value is, because if we were going to go out to ask for a referendum, an operating referendum, farmers don't pay in their farmland, they just pay in their house and 1 acre, just like everybody else does in the communities, right? So this is what, so you can get, so I used to be right up here. This is my old district. Whoa, sorry about that. I was right up here in Lancaster. Well, you see all these other ones are right next to us. It's like, wow, why do they have all this money? Pipeline. You can see the pipeline, how it kind of ran right there. So huge tax dollars. Okay. Lakes Country, Iron Range, Lakes Country, Fergus Falls area, Metro. They have a little more money than us. Okay, they have higher property values, whether it's commercial or residential. Their values are higher. If your values are higher and you're going to pass a referendum or you levy, you pay less per household. Plain and simple, easy deal. It's easy to say yes when your taxes go up $8 instead of $48 or $108. You know what I mean? It just, so I just want to, sometimes this is easier than to understand. You kind of look at it and you go, oh, okay, I get it, right? And so that's why I wanted to show this slide. It just kind of gives a perspective and why we are where we are a little bit, okay? This is microscopic, so I'm sorry from where you're sitting, but this is our preliminary budget, or our final budget will be done in January, so new board members will see that. Our preliminary is 300,000 in the hole. If you remember, the year before it was 270 something. I think this is my last slide. Very conservative. I like to, as a superintendent, set it very conservative. because then at the end, we can kind of work through. Basically, so this is, everybody's taking benefits. Why? Because they could. And if they did, we would need that much. We know not every person takes benefits. So, okay, how much, how many, that fluctuates a little bit, right? That's one of the factors that we can't control. So I have to show it. And we say that, oh, you always make it look so bad. Well, it could be bad. I can't predict, right? And I don't know the percentage. 80% do, 70% do, 60% do. It's one of the things we're trying to fix, is to try to get more of our people to take them, because it is a benefit with our rates as far as the insurance rate. So a lot of factors. And then our food service has been a great place. I think I showed that already. Our community ad, it shows this number, but we have Rebel Kids Care and those things that recover some of that. This is 117 in the hall. We already know we have a fund balance there of about 170. And so it'll come out okay. We're good. And even this 310, I'm not going to say it's a zero budget, but we'll have a final one here. It's not going to show perfect, because I always want to keep some buffer there to keep us in a safe place, to make sure that we control our spending and don't act like, oh, we're good, we're fine. Well, today we are. Let's keep it that way, right? Just like we shared in our presentation or your budget. If you looked at this month's budget, we're at 33%, and that's where we should be. It's actually 33.02. So we're spot on with our budget. That makes me nervous. I was like a percent or two. Remember, a percent is about $190,000 to $200,000 in our budget today. But we had a lot of front load spending, insurance for the entire year. We just had some curriculum we had to front end and buy. So now as the year goes on, so we talked about in the budget meeting, we're going to slowly have a better percentage as we get to the end. So Marcus and I will talk about that when we do our final budget in January. So, okay. Question. Ronnie?
Did you levy the maximum in all the categories you put, or did you back any of them down?
We did not back any down. As a board, we decided to max those. Yep. Nope, it's a good question. One of the things, Ronnie, we talked a lot about this year and visiting with legislators is increasing our LOR option, so the local optional revenue. It's been stuck, like I mentioned a little bit ago, at 724 since 2014. We're asking the legislators, can you increase that by 250 to go, because that's where if there was inflation over the time, it would be like 974, so it's $250 more. That's the one we talked about. Districts could say, okay, we don't need all 974. Maybe we only need 850, or we only need, you know what I mean? But for us right now, it's getting tighter and tighter. So we did max it again, which I think you guys have done every year, even before I came, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was sometimes backing out, sometimes health and safety or switching, you're able to back certain categories down.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yep.
Yeah.
Or the LTFM, which we
Yeah.
bonded here. So we need all that to just do our payment and get a little bit. So yeah, a little bit tight on that one. But other questions?
All right.
That's what I got.
All right, we'll move on to number 11, adjournment. This is to adjourn the regular meeting of the Dilworth Women's County School Board at 6:14. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Amy, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.